Welcome back to another review by Mega Train Lover. Today we're having a look at the second model which I purchased from the Tolworth show train, and as you can see it's a Bachmann model again, but this time it's a much older Bachmann model. You can tell from the packaging, and if we just bring the box up close, if we turn to the side, you can see the product code is 32675Z. And it's a class 45 diesel, number D55, Royal Signals, British Rail green and weathered. Now, the model, it does say it costs £65, but the person at the counter reduced it to £50 for me. And I'm sure you can agree that that is a bargain for a model of this size. It does also say glue marks. The person did make me aware that there are a couple of sort of detail issues with the model, but I can assure you that that does not affect the overall quality of the model. Anyway, so a bit of history about the class 45s. So these were class of diesel locomotives built between 1960 and 1962 at Derby Works and also at Crewe Works, and in total there were 127 of them built, and they were used mostly for services on the Midland Main Line, but they found themselves on other lines as well later on in their lives, but primarily they were used on the Midland Main Line. They were built to a very similar design as the class 44 and the 46s, and all three, so the 44, 45 and 46 classes, all three became known as the Peaks, so they were nicknamed Peaks. And their withdrawals began in 1981 and the withdrawals concluded in 1989, and this was due to the fact that the HSDs began to be introduced on the Midland Main Line, taking over their work. The very last example was withdrawn in 1989. 11 of the class have been preserved, and all 11 are in varying states of repair, and some of them are operational as well. So anyway, as you can see, the locomotive is not in the box. I've given it a test run and everything. It works absolutely fine. So let's put the box to one side, and the locomotive itself is right here. Wow. Wow. Okay, I'm just going to get this out of the way, but as you can probably expect from an engine of this size, it is really heavy, which is good. Plenty of pulling force. Wow. I mean, considering the age of the model, it is stunning. It is really, really nice. Let's start at the front. So obviously this is a pre-owned model. There are a few sort of issues with the detail, but so such as this lamp iron here looks a bit bent. There's also some glue marks in places, particularly around the nameplates, and also at the back the head code box is missing. This one doesn't bother me too much because when it's pulling a train you don't really see it, but I will try and sort of cover that up from the inside with something. I'll figure something out, because at the moment it looks a bit strange looking into the back of the moulding of the cab. But no, of course, but overall, let's just get all those flaws out of the way. So obviously it's nothing to do with the model when it was new. Obviously this is a pre-owned model. It still looks really, really nice. It really, really captures the overall appearance of the class 45. So let's start at the front. So you get sprung buffers on all four corners, and absolutely love the one Coco one rearrangement. So you got the 6 driving wheels on each bogie, but then you got these extra 2 pony wheels which were fitted to aid the locomotive round corners. Later on they got rid of this design, but this was very much inherited from steam locomotives, but they got rid of it because it wasn't really necessary anymore. So that's a really, really characteristic look of the class 45, and just the Peaks in general. There's its number, D55. You get a driver, and the livery is spot on. It is beautiful. I really, really love the weathering effect as well. It makes it look like it has been, you know, it has worked. It's not just rolled out of Derby Works, or I don't know. This was I don't know where D55 was built exactly, but it was either Crewe or Derby. You know, it does look like it has worked. There is quite a bit of brake dust and grime and stuff. Obviously not too heavy, but yeah, it's still a really, really nice representation. So obviously the nameplate would have been there. Obviously it's been torn. Yeah. Oh well, never mind. But I mean, it is called Royal Signals, so yeah. You get the British Railways laid crest there. And let's look at the other end. So the other end is pretty much similar to the one we just looked at. Of course, it's got the missing head code as mentioned before, but I'll try and figure out something. And the roof looks really, really nice. It does have a fan there which only spins when you blow on it, but it doesn't actually work. But that's absolutely fine. Obviously this is a 20-year-old model, but I mean, you know, it goes to show that you don't always need to go for the, you know, the fancy new up-to-date models. You know, you get one like this for a good price and it still looks the part. Yeah, all this detail underneath, all this pipe work, the sand pipes on the bogies. I'm not too sure what these tanks are for. I think this is definitely the fuel tank, I think, but I don't know why these ones are coloured differently from the others. I think these are the air reservoir tanks actually, but I'm not too sure. I'm not that familiar with the Class 45s. I do really like them, but I'm just not a huge expert on them. But I mean, I'm not really an expert on any engine, to be honest. You know, there's plenty of people out there who know a lot more about trains than I do. But yeah, no. All in all, it is just, you know, it's a fantastic model, really nice weight, and second hand it may be, but it looks really presentable. Let's see how it runs though. So here we have the Bachmann BR Green Class 45 on the track. And the first thing to note is, if you do have one of these, be very, very careful to ensure that all the wheels are on the track, because whilst you do have the 12 driving wheels to take care of, you also have an additional 4 pony wheels, 2 at each end, to look at as well. And those ones, they turn separately from the rest of the bogie assembly. So, you know, I do recommend kind of just rolling it back and forth for a bit, just to make sure all the wheels are on the track. Just a quick tip. Anyway, despite the fact that it's a 20-year-old model, it was DCC ready, and therefore I'm going to select her number and watch her go. And away she goes. Wow. For a 20-year-old model, brilliant runner. It does have a bit of a growl, but I don't really mind that, to be honest, because well, it is a diesel. Yeah. Very smooth. Amazing. Let's get a few shots of her passing. So yeah, very nice runner. And this is running in speed, by the way. Really, really nice. And I forgot to mention that she doesn't have working lights, but it's okay. For the price I paid for her, can't complain. Can't complain about anything really. Amazing. So in conclusion, I highly recommend a Bachmann Peak. This can be either a 44, 45 or a 46. Obviously Bachmann do a much newer version these days. But yeah, if you can get hold of one for a good price, I definitely recommend it because it is a fantastic loco. As a matter of fact, I really like Peaks now, so yeah, that's what models do to you. Anyway, thanks very much for watching this video, and see you in the next video. Goodbye.